Hi there, it's Kirsty here, live on a Sunday afternoon from my kitchen. Actually, this is probably more indicative of what my kitchen should look like because I'm not so good in the kitchen. But I wanted to show you guys today a little bit about what our job is like as a mortgage broker in terms of working out how much you can borrow. So every single bank has a different fancy Excel spreadsheet that they use to work out your borrowing capacity. And that means that your borrowing capacity is going to be different bank to bank, even though your information is the same. And a lot of people get very, I guess, concerned about credit card limits, how they impact borrowing capacity, car loans, Afterpay, all that sort of stuff. So what I wanted to do today was grab a calculator. I'm going to grab a nice simple one to explain. So I'm going to use one that we use quite often to run borrowing capacity, just to give us a really basic idea. And I'm going to show you what it looks like as you sort of go through that process. So I'm going to share my screen, and here is the Commonwealth Bank calculator. Now, I just have this one on my desktop because it's a nice, easy one to organize and to see, and I'm going to show you guys through it. So we have 2 adults in this household and 2 kids, and let's just use really rough monthly living expenses of $4,000. Okay, I'm going to put in 2 salaries here, $45,000 each. I can play around with that as much as I like, but I want to just give you guys an understanding of what we're looking at here. And you can see that this couple, 2 kids, they have an Afterpay. They have a credit card with a $15,000 limit, and they have, in this case, a personal loan that they took out for a car, 13% interest rate, $15,000 balance owing, and 3 years still left remaining. Now, if we go down to the bottom here, this is the most important figure. This figure here that says $210,000, this is how much this family can borrow according to this calculator right now. Now, this is not an exact science. There's a lot more detail that goes into figuring out your borrowing capacity. But again, I'm just trying to give you a rough understanding of how it works. Now, let's say, for example, that they did not have that personal loan. Instead of having a personal loan, they had maybe a secured car loan with a lower interest. What we can see is that that $210,000 borrowing capacity there just went up to $217,000. But let's pretend they didn't have a loan for their car at all. So all I'm going to do is delete that out of there completely. And then suddenly that $217,000 borrowing capacity has just gone up to $304,000. Now, here's the credit card. You can see they don't owe anything on their credit card, but if you have a credit card, the bank will treat it as though you have it completely maxed out. I had a client get really frustrated the other day. He said, but then don't they count that towards my living expenses as well? So aren't they double dipping? And the simple answer is yes. It doesn't matter how frustrating that is. That's how the banks calculate it. So if you have a credit card, whatever the limit is, whether you've never spent a cent on it before, or whether you pay it off in full every single month, it'll be treated as though the limit's completely maxed out. So borrowing capacity for this family right now, $304,000. And then if I go in and I get rid of their credit card as well, voila, that $304,000 just became $404,000. That seems like a big jump. Did I get those figures right? Let's go back a little bit. And yep, $304,000. All we're doing is removing that credit card from the equation. $404,000. $100,000 increase in borrowing capacity just by getting rid of that one credit card. That's crazy, right? And then if we take out their Afterpay as well, and I will almost always recommend clients get rid of Afterpay, that $404,000 goes up to $412,000. I've done a whole other blog on why I usually recommend you get rid of Afterpay. You can have a read of that one, but hopefully that has shown you the massive difference that just removing some liabilities can actually make to borrowing capacity. Now, that's not to say that I want everyone to go out and immediately cancel all of their credit cards and everything. I want you to talk to a broker and figure out what their specific recommendation is for you. But hopefully this will give you some sort of an understanding as to why those factors impact and why we talk to you about them. So again, borrowing capacity with none of them, $412,000. If I use my little time machine, put them all back in, $217,000. Crazy, right? Very interesting. All right, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Hope that there is something in there that has been relevant for you, and yell out if you have any questions.